Alright, this is the fun part. We've done the setup, we talked through the workflow, and now we actually get to build something. We're gonna create an MA distance indicator from scratch. Claude has access to my TWM project files already, so I'll just describe the indicator. Claude writes the file straight into my indicators folder, and then I compile it and load it on the chart. Once we verify that it works, we iterate, which means make one change and check again. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the brand new Claude session inside custom TWM project folder. Remember, I don't paste any rules. The second the session starts, Claude already knows the TWM rules. The one habit I do keep is one script per session. Don't build an indicator and a strategy in the same conversation, okay? You should keep it focused. So the Claude.md already tells Claude to start new scripts from the template. But just in case, I'll say base this on the indicator template in the project, okay? And that's the whole session setup now. The rules are already loaded, the template's pointed at, and we're ready to describe what we actually want. Okay, and for the actual request, here's my prompt. I thought about this one ahead of time, so it's specific and clear, and it covers everything I need. Create an indicator called MA distance. It calculates the distance between the close price and an EMA. Plot the result as a histogram below the chart. Color the histogram bars green when the value is positive, meaning price is above the EMA, and red when the value is negative, meaning price is below the EMA. Add a parameter for the EMA period with a default of 20. That's it. One indicator does one thing with a single parameter. Let me send it. Hit enter. As we can see, it reads the indicator template. Now he reads an existing indicator that uses histogram color map, which is in trend up-down distance indicators. The chat has enough context. Now it's gonna write the file. Notice that it's not gonna print code into chat. It writes the files directly into my indicator folder. It creates MA distance file right there in the project based on our template. And Claude also outputs the summary. We have EMA period parameter with default 20. We have the way of calculating distance, which is close minus EMA. We see which plot it uses, histogram. We see per bar coloring, and the EMA sub-indicator is initialized in state.configured. This looks right, but I don't want to just eyeball the summary. So let me ask Claude to explain. Explain what you changed from the template and why. Hit enter. Okay, so here's what it tells me. Claude lists every modification, okay? Removed style parameters, changed plot chart type, added per bar logic, renamed, added EMA field, changed current bar guard from period to EMA period, and set histogram plot color to colors.gray as the default plot color. This makes sense. Each change maps directly to something I asked for. Nothing extra. And that's a great practice to ask it from time to time because sometimes Claude can quietly improve something I never touched. Now, before I touch any code, let me get a game plan for testing. What should I verify to make sure this works? Hit enter. So it read the checklist and now it outputs the list. Okay, does it compile? Then when I load it on the chart, will the histogram appear? Are the colors correct here? Etc. It's solid checklist. Let's actually go through it. Okay, before compiling, I want to show you that the file landed in our project. You don't have to do this, it's just for information purposes. So custom, indicators, default, and look for MA distance file. Here we have this file. So Claude worked perfectly. You should do this once just to check if it actually adds files to your project. Okay, now we can go to TWM, go to project, compile, and it should successfully compile the project. Yeah, just what we just saw. Okay, now let's go to the chart. I'm gonna create, doesn't really matter, Apple, 5 minutes, okay. Right click on the chart, go to indicators, default, look for MA distance indicator right here, double click on it, and okay. As we can see, histogram is in a separate pane, okay, and it crosses 0 to the negative values, it looks correct. But we actually need to plot EMA as well to see if these swings are right. So let's do that. You just go here, tell it I also need EMA to be plotted on the chart. Hit enter. Okay, so it added a EMA plot. Now we're gonna just compile again. Go to project, hit compile, open the chart. If you didn't have EMA appeared already, just right click on the chart and click reload script. Then it should appear. Now let's check if values are right. Here we have clauses above EMA and they're green. Then here, price crosses EMA and closes below, and we have it in red. It looks correct. Let me change parameters of EMA period to 50. Now we see much bigger swings because values are calculated over a slower EMA. Okay, here we have red candle and the histogram crosses 0. So it works correct. And that's checklist done. Everything works. Now is the part I actually love. Iterating on something that already works. The indicator's running, but I want to add something. I want signal dots on the chart when the histogram crosses 0. That's when price crosses the EMA, which could be a useful signal. So, in the same conversation, I'm just gonna tell it what I want. Add signal arrows on the price chart to the indicator, a green arrow when the histogram crosses from negative to positive, and a red arrow when it crosses from positive to negative. Plot these dots on the price chart at the candle close price. That's it. And it's done. So let's go to TWM and recompile again. Now let's open the chart, and right here, after the moment of cross, we could see red and green candles. They're plotted a bit weirdly, but it doesn't really matter for this video. You see, iteration worked. One clean change verified right there on the chart. And that's it. You just built a complete indicator with iteration. You started simple, verified it worked, added a feature, and verified again. That's the whole workflow. And it's about as predictable and simple as coding gets. In the next video, we do the same thing but with a strategy. We'll use the strategy brief we filled out in video 5. Entries, exits, stop loss, profit target, and a time filter. Your first strategy. From idea to live trades on historical data. And with that said, see you in the next one.